For many years, Herman Stadler was seen as the security police's chief theoretician, almost intellectual. Nobody knew the enemy better than him. This week, he presented the Truth Commission with a few kilograms of documentation and explanation on behalf of an organization called the Foundation for Equality Before the Law.
I mean, let's face facts. The ANC, as far as the ANC was concerned, they were at war with the South African government. Whatever you like to call it, a conflict. The fact is, the whole basis was a warlike situation. And all of a sudden, the police were faced with that situation, and they had to accommodate, because they have to protect people, they have to protect lives. And you've looked at the acts of terrorism, car bombs, motor car bombs, necklace murders, and the police had to protect people. And as you know, that there was a lot of questions asked, the thin blue line. Can the police cope? And during that period, a lot of mistakes were made, certainly.
Well, I certainly don't think anybody disputes that the police played that role. But the question is that people ask who've been at the Truth Commission for the last 3 months. Nobody is criticizing the police force for protecting or even detaining without trial, because that was the law at the time.
That's right, yes.
But we had evidence of kidnapping, of severe torture, of disappearance, of murder by policemen. Certainly that was not an appropriate response to the ANC struggle. I mean, is it allowed for the police force of a state to become like the movement they're fighting?
Max, no. I want to state categorically that there was never a policy of the South African police to pursue that line. As I said, in the process, the mistakes were made. And if there were certain atrocities by members of the South African police who was responsible for that kind of situation, then we cannot condone that. And I definitely cannot condone that.
Why didn't you take them to court?
I beg your pardon?
Why didn't you take those policemen to court? Why didn't you take the Kutsia to court? And why didn't you take Eugene de Kock to court? Why didn't you charge them with murder then, in the 80s? Now we're doing it post-election.
It's a good question, Mark, but you must also appreciate the fact that the police force comprised of about, well, how many? More than 100,000 people. It's a very large concern. And in the process, things might have happened that others wouldn't know about.
But we told you in 89 what the Kutsia said, and you called him a liar, and now you're charging him, or were they charging him?
Well, it is not the police who charge people, it's up to the Attorney General. I'm certain that investigations had been carried out during that time. I wasn't in charge of those investigations. But I think I also said at the time, if Dirk Coetzee made certain allegations, or he admitted to certain atrocities, then he must take the rap.
Yeah, but the police
sorry.
formally denied his atrocities. They said he's lying that he committed those murders.
Yeah, but
interestingly enough, now he gets charged criminally for those murders,
sure.
Whereas the police force that you were served in denied that those things happened.
Max, again, who denied it? I think I myself. Well, did the commission at that stage know about these atrocities? I don't know.
Well, they could have read Vrye Weekblad and they would have seen what Dirk Coetzee said.
Yes, sure, and I'm sure, but at that stage, as you know, Dirk Coetzee was abroad, and as you know, investigations like this normally takes its course. So it's in retrospect, it is perhaps easy for us to say now, why wasn't it charged? Why was it denied? But the fact is, those people who denied these allegations, were they aware of the true situation? Who was responsible? Did Dirk Coetzee act under instructions? Who gave that instructions? Did these people, and that is a point I want to make, those people, did they act with criminal intent? Did they act for personal gain? If that is so, we cannot condone that, and we do not condone that.
But let's just stay for this for one question, more question. What about Vlakplaas? I mean, Dirk Coetzee spilled the beans, left, and Eugene de Kock took over. And we don't want to prejudge him now in the trial, so that's not the point. The point is we know certain things about Vlakplaas now that happened in the 80s. And right until after the ANC took over the government, the police did nothing about Vlakplaas. It seemed to everybody that the police were happy with what happened at Vlakplaas, because we had ministers going there and having parties. We had Eugene de Kock and all these men getting medals for what they did. What does that say about the culture of the police force?
Again, Max, I don't want to... I think we must stay away from the odd incidents. Let's come back to Vlakplaas. Ironically enough, you know, that we must look at why was Vlakplaas there in the first place. It wasn't a murder place. You know, in 1980, I took the Rabe Commission because Judge Rabe wanted to know how do we deal with returned, rehabilitated terrorists. I took him to Vlakplaas, and he discussed, you know, certain matters with some of those Askaris. So the point I want to make is that Vlakplaas was never intended as a murder farm, or whatever you like to call it.